And time now to head outdoors with Standard Speaker reporter Ken Jackson.
Every time a fly snagged under a rock or in a tree branch, John McCormick started thinking that 3 or 4 $1 bills were impaled on his hook under the rocks of the river. And the cost of replacing those flies led him to start tying flies himself. McCormick, who lives in Ringtown, was someone I met on opening day of the season along the Little Schuylkill River. He said he can tie tiny flies like red coppers that work well this time of year in just a minute or two. Of course, it took him 3 or 4 years of practice to tie them that fast. Plus, he had to assemble the hooks, feathers, wraps, orange sponge, and other materials that he works into the flies. More elaborate flies, like brown woolies that are longer and stringier, which he uses when fishing for salmon on Lake Erie, take more time to tie. With some flies, especially the larger salmon flies, he attaches eyes with epoxy glue. McCormick organizes his flies in pocket-sized metal cases, usually with several of the same filling out a row. He likes the challenge of matching the kinds of insects that he sees rising from the water to the flies that he carries. Some days he said he casts 10 or 15 flies before he finds one that the trout bite. Fly tying isn't just an economical way to stock up for the season, it's also art. Flies next to reels or wicker creels in photographs take on the richness of still lifes painted in oil. And they form the covers of catalogs for outfitters or ads in magazines like Field and Stream. Richard Grinkavich is one of our local artists with a fly tying bench. He invited me a few years ago to his house in Cunningham after his flies took the grand prize in an international competition that Fly Tire magazine held on its 30th anniversary. Grinkavich spent half a century tying flies. His crayfish looks so real you'd swear it just wiggled out of the river onto a rock. But it catches fish just like the real thing.